Whoever is seated to the right of the Speaker is the government of the day. You are the Premier. I am the shadow government. I am the head of the minority party. At any time you are ousted, we will exchange places. And let us say Senator Pimentel is seated there as the head of housing. Opposite from him would be Professor Monsod, who will be the housing minister even when your government is ousted. Do you see, even just looking at the parliament in process, you already have a story there, isn't it? A lot of stories there. The concept of rightists and leftists came from that. Whoever is in the right of the Speaker wants to keep the status quo. You want to be the government of the day. The one who is on the left of the Speaker wants to change the status quo. We are the shadow government. I want to change you. I want to be the next Premier. So, all right. What is the other beautiful part about parliamentary system? There will be no notion of term limits. If you are elected as a member of parliament, you can be elected for as long as you are alive or can continue to discourse in parliament. And you are elected by your electoral district, by the way. If you do not perform, of course, the next time you are not elected. And the best part about that is you don't even need to spend for your election, because it is the political party to which you will plug your umbilical cord, because it will pay for your campaign expenses, your radio and TV time. But beware, if Eric here is a member of the political party, I'll tell him, Erica, bayaran ko yung campaign expenses mo, and radio and TV time mo. Pero kung ka, whenever you are in parliament, you've got to toe the party line. Which means, if we are, let us say, against abortion, dapat against abortion tayo. Yan ang party line. Kung hindi, tumiwalag ka sa party. Do you see? Party discipline. Kasi hawak ko na siya, ako nagasto sa kanya. Okay. And the other better part of this election is that we're not going through a very torturous, ano ba yun? Parang 3 months na election na naubos na yung salapi mo, hindi pa matapos yung campaign. The usual campaign period is only 2 weeks. After the parliament is dissolved, within 10 to 12 days, meron ka ng bagong parliament. Because you only go to the electoral district and you campaign on the electoral district. You are not campaigning in the whole Great Britain and Northern Ireland. You are campaigning only in your electoral district. So you don't need 3 months to do that. No term limits. There will be no, even political dynasties will be irrelevant. Why? Your political dynasties, and the empirical evidence supports me here. Orion, are you there? I'm sure you can say more about that later. But the reason why you have political dynasties is because you have term limits. You told people that ikaw ganitong taon ka lang pwedeng elect. Sabihin, naku, ganda sana ng gagawin ko. Itong kapatid ko si Eric, siya na nga ang aking sunod na mag-elect, no? Mag-campaign. At marami na akong naitanim na mga magagandang mga proyekto. Siyempre, Eric is more likely to be elected. Not so much because we have the same surname, Carlos, but because he just followed through what I earlier started. Why will there be no political dynasties? Which is so antithetical, by the way, to democracy. Because you can only be elected by the electoral district. Never mind that your surname is the same as mine. Do you see? These are really the things that we have to think about. And I think if we're talking about strategic communication, Senator Padilla, this is how we should sell it. No term limits, no political dynasties. These are irrelevant issues in a parliamentary system. Okay, well, I don't know how much more I can go deeply on this, but do I have the time?
Opo.
Okay, all right. What else does a parliamentary system require? It needs a very, very strong bureaucracy. That is the reason why in parliamentary systems you have what is called permanent secretaries, because it's not the case here where when you have a change of administration, you change everybody up to director. Do you know, I wrote a book, by the way, Senator Padilla, on bureaucratic reform. I'll give you copies, no? Sorry sa commercial, ha? Pero doon, nakita ko ang presidente will appoint upwards of 5,000 positions. I'm sure, Senator Pimentel and Padilla, you know that Mag-choose nga lang tayo ng 10, nahihirapan tayo. Isipin mo, 5,000 yung papakailaman mo. Every time there is a change in administration. And that's now it's not going to be. In a parliamentary system, only the head of the department, only the head of the ministry will change. And there will be continuing policy because the permanent secretaries will be the ones that will continue the policy, and it's only the direction that the head of the ministry that will direct. Do you see the beauty of all this? The bureaucracy is king in a parliamentary system. That's why when you talk about implementation, never mind that the cabinet secretaries are changing, it's really the bureaucracy under them who will continue under the continuing rules of the game, or the rules of, well, the rules of the civil service, or the rules of the bureaucracy. So, when we adopt the parliamentary system, all these concomitants, we really have to put in together. You cannot adopt them like fragmented, like, with all due respect, you cannot revise the Constitution piece by piece or fragmented. Let's talk of the Constitution like an organism, like a human body. Meron siyang sakit sa kanyang puso, may sakit siya sa kanyang kidney. Wag lang yun ang pakialaman mo. Pakialaman mo lahat kasi infirm siya eh. Kasi yung puso niya at saka yung kidney niya, meron siyang relationship, di ba? So hindi mo pwedeng galawin yung economic provisions kasi yung economic provisions, nakatukod siya sa political and social provisions. Hindi ba? So hindi siya pwedeng stand alone. Papalitan mo yung economic. Tapos yung iba hindi mo siya papakailaman. When we are going to revise the Constitution, dapat omnibus ang revision mo. Kasi bawat section doon na papalitan mo, ay meron siya mga pinsan sa other sections. Mag-move lahat siya eh. They will all be moving parts. So, I'm sorry, I apologize if I go against the notion that you can in fact revise the Constitution piecemeal. You can't. Otherwise, we will be wasting our time, and some other time we will again revise the Constitution. And we don't like to do that. You know, revising the Constitution is not like suddenly, we scratch our head and let's revise the Constitution. Sa ligang batas po natin yan. It's the basic law of the land. It is not revised willy-nilly. It's not as if, ganito yung capriccio natin ngayon, we change it. No, we don't. We're changing it because we want structural change. We want structural change because we want behavior change. I think I shall conclude at that point.